Coming up on today's episode. Alright, welcome back. This is kind of like part 2 of the power supply, but it's not actually. The power supply does work, we know that. Well, we know it comes on and it will calibrate and things like that. So that's half the battle. So this is the case I came up with. Now, this is a kind of a compromise on my part because I usually like to design my own cases. And so on this one, this was the difficult part here, this cutout for the display or control board here. And Bob found this online and one of Thingiverse, I think, or somewhere like that. And I did some modifications to it because that's just the way I like to do things. I added, I don't know how you can see it, but I added these. Let's see if I can tip it up here, maybe. There we go. I added these ventilation slots here. I also added these pads for the transformer to mount on. The one I had for it, the core, is too big for it, and I can't use that in here, so I found another one on DigiKey that will fit in this spot here and mount this way, horizontally, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. And there's no leads on it, but they have these type of leads on it, so I'll be able to run a wire over here for the 24 volt there, and the output will come out there and come over here to the jacks, output jacks. This will be our power switch, and as you can see, the board itself is screwed in. I have the back of it is the got a nice ventilation slot there for the fan. You can see, there you go, that's that. And I never can get that in there. But anyway, that fits in good. This is our power in, obviously. And everything is looking pretty good. The transformer will not be here until Thursday, according to FedEx. And it was supposed to be here Wednesday, today, but they got delayed. So anyway, not a big deal. Like I say, I'll screw that into the pads here. Get that all mounted up. I'll probably run the wires first, obviously, and get that part of it done. But like I say, this is all connected on this side, other than the running the wires to the outputs and running the wires into the 24 volt in. So, you know, that's pretty much done. Figure out how I'm going to do my wiring for the power and get that all lined out, whatever. And then I got to print. I still haven't printed the top for this yet. Over there printing now is the top for another power supply I'm building, and we'll talk about that one at another time. But anyway, I just thought we would show you how it's starting out here. And again, like I say, it is pretty nice the way it comes together, and there's a good look at it that way. But these standoffs were included. This was for this kit. So, again, there were some modifications made to the original one, but the creator was nice enough to include basically a plain Jane base and that for it, so I didn't have to use his. He had all kinds of USB connections and things like that, and that's something I wasn't really interested in, nor was Bob, I don't believe. Anyway, so that's what it's going to look like anyway. So also printed up some knobs, and you can see these are the ones that's got the I and the V on them. This was all included in the package of files, but there's a problem with them. They're too loose. I don't know how you can see, but if we can get it on here, there you go. See, it just doesn't really do what it's supposed to do. And other than when you first turn it, put it in there, it will be a little bit tight. But once it gets in there, it's loose as a goose. You see. So I've got to figure out a way of, I was looking for my electrical tape. I was going to put a layer of that around there and see if that would be enough to take up the slack. But I can't find that now. So, I don't know. Always something. But that's basically, like I said, I plan on painting the V red. If you can find it, yeah, V red and the I blue, I think, is what I'm thinking about doing. I may even paint the knobs themselves, I don't know. But again, that won't come until I get the correctly sized where they stay on the shaft like they're supposed to. Now right there, I think that would probably, now see, I can't even push it in. But these knobs, I think, as far as I know, work by moving the selection to where you want it, and then you click it. You hear them click, and that's how you set it. So I believe that's how it works. So anywho, that's that. And like I said, I just want to kind of show you what was going on with that. And probably will rejoin this when I get the transformer and get the rest of the parts printed out for it. And we'll go from there. So, alright, join me then. Alright, I am back once again. I don't know how well you can tell it. Obviously can't, from that angle, probably can't tell anything, but I do have this fully wired. It still doesn't have a top. I had a printer problem, and I've got to correct that, hopefully tomorrow, and figure out what's wrong with it. I was just starting to print the top for this, and it messed up. And when that happened, things went to hell in a handbasket, as they say. Let's give it a shot. Now, I have played around with this with Bob directed me to do some stuff, and so it should come up to 12 volts, I do believe. Turn it on. Yep, 12 volts. So there you can see it does work. I hope you can see it. I may have to readjust this, the contrast on it a little bit. I don't know. But that's at 115 volts on the Variac. I don't have the regular computer plug type cord hooked in. I've just got my Variac in for right now while I was messing with it. But I will scrape up a computer cord and plug it in that way. And we'll see how it works that way. But for right now, I just want to make sure it was working. Basically, set the voltage for whatever you want. Like if we want 9 volts. And then you hit the set. And it sets. And then it should be okay. It should stay there, even if you turn the power off, which we'll do here. Let's see. Takes a second or two to discharge the capacitor. And there you can see. Now, like I said, it will come back up. When it comes back up, it should come up to 9 volts. I haven't messed with the current, but Bob explained how that works too. And you can see I have the voltage here and the current here with the V and the I. I think those are neat looking little knobs. I may paint them or something and put some red on this one and blue on that one, I think. You know, I don't know if it will or not, but let's check it out and see if it does work now like I should think it should work. And there it is, 9 volts, just like that. It came up perfectly. Like I said, it is all wired. Now let's take a look at that real quick. Alright, we'll look at the back here. This is our input from our computer cord. You got a wire here on this side, goes directly to the switch up front. Right here. And the one on the other side goes to the transformer second or primary on one side of it. And then the other side of that primary goes up this part of the switch, which obviously controls the voltage going into the transformer. And that's how the power works. So that works fine. The wires coming out of this are the 24 volt output from the secondary. As you can see here, it's got a center tap on this transformer, and so we're hooked to the outside terminals, which are the secondary itself, and they go around and in here and come out here. Now the other thing is the output from the power supply board comes around here, and these red wires here. Now one of them you can't see it, but it's marked black on the end, and they go to basically these jacks here. So that's our output. So everything, like I said, is wired, and it's working as it should. I haven't tried any kind of a power anything yet. That will come in time. But like I said, probably sometime during this video. But again, I just wanted to kind of show you how it is wired. Now, these were scrap wires I found laying around. There's no sense to me in buying new wire and things like that. This is a power cord, an old power cord, I should say. All the lines coming from the AC line are this old power cord. It was a big, long, one continuous wire. It wasn't a pair, but it was enough to do what I needed to do. And here's what's left of it. So I can have more left if I wanted to do more. But that's what I use for that. These are 20 gauge wires here. The wires going from the 24 volt into the power supply and also coming out. Now those should handle 2 amps pretty easily, I believe. So everything is wired up. Again, it's plugged in as it's supposed to be plugged in to the board there, you can see. And all that works. And again, very happy with the way it turned out. I highly recommend this. Even though I'm not really doing a review, I do highly recommend it. It is a good little kit. And of course that, kind of assumes that it's working other than what we've shown. And we will get to do some testing. Now, the way Bob told me about it, you set the current for whatever current the device under test is, and you set that, and then once it gets to that point, the voltage will go down. So that's the way he says it's supposed to work, and I believe him because he knows more than I do. So, like I said, that's the way that's going to work, I guess, and we'll try it. But Jim had a good idea of using a 10 ohm, I think a 10 ohm resistor or 100 ohm or something. I forget now what he said, but I remember him making the comment, and that might be a good idea. I think he said a 25 watt. Now, I don't have a 25 watt that I know of, but I do have some 100 watt, the ones I'm going to use for dummy loads for my speakers, and those are around here somewhere. Those would work just as well, I do believe. But anywho, that's that. So, like I said, we're going to just basically do what we got here, and we'll come back at a later time and do the thing. Right now it's a little late. I'm going to relax some. I've taken 2 hours earlier in the morning and a couple more hours this evening to get this all wired up. And I want to get my printer done so I can get the top printer for this, get it screwed together, and not have to worry about it anymore. And it will be complete and usable. Now, the last thing I will do is to put feet on the bottom of it. And I want to do that because I just like having feet on things because it makes it a lot more stable. You can't, press something or something like that whenever you don't have feet on it, because it won't stay put. It just moves across the table. So, anywho, that's what I'm planning on doing. So, I know I'm talking. Let me get off here, and like I say, we'll come back at a little later date, and we'll see how this thing works for real. Alright, what you see in front of you there on the bench is the power supply. Still no top on it, but that's another story. I have it working. Bob suggested I charge up my 9 volt batteries. These are these EBL batteries here, like this. And they take actually charge up to 8.4. He suggested a 0.5 amp charging rate, and as you can see, the charging rate is at 1.16. Actually, it's sort of varying a little bit, but that's okay. That's what he suggested to do, and that's what I'm doing. So I just kind of wanted to see how long it would take and what the deal was. But I think it started out when I was messing around with it at 0.2, something like that. It's went down a little bit. So I guess it's working. That would be a good indication, I would think. What do I know? But like I said, you just simply, you set the voltage and the current that you want. and then, you know, let her happen, Captain. So that's what I did, and it seems to be working. So very happy about that. We're going to let that go and sit there and do that. Now obviously this only records for 20 minutes on this camera, so that's as far as we can go with that. So I think I'm going to let it sit there and do that, and we'll see what it does after that time length, and come back and revisit it. How's that? Alright, well, I am back once again. As you can see, the rate of charge has declined steadily over 2 camera cycles. That's 2 20-minute camera cycles. I'm on the 3rd one now. In fact, I'm 1 minute and 10 seconds into it. But, so there's really no sense in going any further than this. It's working as designed, I think. And that's a good thing. If I come up with something else better to test it with, I'll go from there. But other than that, I think I think that's pretty much it for this. I've still got to do the top, and I got to fix my printer for that. And I have people texting me like crazy over there on the phone, so I'm going to get off here, and we'll see what happens, and may come back, may not. We'll see.